Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. You put in the work, you stay late, you dream big, and yet the results seem far away. That's when doubt creeps in, whispering that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you're not cut out for it. But here's the truth. Every great accomplishment the world has ever seen was built on effort long before the results showed up. Today I'm going to show you why chasing results too early can steal your energy and why focusing on steady, deliberate effort is the real game changer. Because effort is the one thing you control completely. It's the only thing that doesn't depend on luck, timing, or the approval of others. Results? They come when they come. But effort? That's in your hands every single day. This is about learning to keep moving when the world isn't clapping yet. It's about building strength in the silence, pride in the process, and faith in the work itself. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I take you step by step through the mindset, habits, and actions that will help you stop worrying about the finish line and start owning the journey. Let's begin. Number 1. Stop measuring yourself too soon. One of the fastest ways to destroy your motivation is to constantly check whether what you're doing is working. You start a new habit, a new project, or a new routine. And after just a few days, you're already looking for signs of success. You step on the scale after 2 workouts. You check your bank account after a week of saving. You expect applause after a small step forward. And when those results don't show up right away, frustration takes over. The truth is, growth is rarely visible in the beginning. Progress happens quietly, beneath the surface, like a seed taking root in the soil. When you dig up the seed every day to check on it, you stop it from growing. Your journey works the same way. If you keep measuring yourself too soon, you'll never give your effort the chance to bloom. Think about it. Some of the most successful people in history spent months, even years, working in silence before anyone noticed their progress. They weren't obsessed with proving themselves in the short term. They were obsessed with showing up, doing the work, and letting time take care of the rest. When you focus too much on results, you create unnecessary pressure. You start questioning every move. Am I doing this right? Why haven't I seen a change yet? That constant self-judgment is exhausting. It robs you of the energy you need to keep going. Instead, shift your attention to the only thing you can truly control, your effort today. Imagine a builder laying bricks for a house. If they stop after every single brick to judge whether the house looks finished, they'll get discouraged. But if they simply keep laying brick after brick, one day they'll step back and see a strong, solid structure standing tall. Your effort works exactly the same way. Stop checking the scoreboard every 5 minutes. Stop comparing your progress to someone else's highlight reel. The only measurement that matters right now is whether you showed up and gave your best today. If you did that, you're already winning, even if nobody else can see it yet. Patience is power. The longer you can work without needing immediate proof, the stronger you'll become. Results have a way of showing up all at once, like a flood after a long, quiet rain. But they only come to those who stay consistent long enough to earn them. So today, make a promise to yourself. You will stop measuring yourself too soon. You will stop digging up the seed before it has a chance to grow. Trust the process. Keep your head down and let time reveal the rewards of your effort. Because success isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Number 2, build a daily system you can trust. Success isn't about one big breakthrough or a single lucky moment. It's about what you do day after day, even when no one is watching and no applause is coming your way. If you want lasting progress, you need more than motivation. You need a system. A solid daily structure that keeps you moving forward, no matter how you feel or what distractions come your way. Motivation is like the wind. Some days it blows strong and you feel unstoppable. Other days it disappears, and you're left standing still. That's why relying on motivation alone will fail you every time. A system, on the other hand, doesn't depend on feelings. It's like a train track. Once you set it in place, it keeps you moving even on days when you'd rather quit. Think about it like this. If you wanted to get in shape, a goal might be lose 10 pounds. But a system would be something you do daily, like eating a balanced breakfast, walking 30 minutes, and doing strength training 3 times a week. The system creates consistent action, and consistent action creates results. Without a system, you'll find yourself starting over again and again, stuck in the same cycle of frustration. Here's the powerful thing about building a daily system. It frees you from constantly making decisions. Decision fatigue is real. If every day you wake up asking, Should I work out today? Should I write today? Should I save money this week? You waste precious energy just deciding. A system removes the question marks. It turns action into a habit. You don't have to wonder what to do. You just follow the plan you've already created. Start by keeping it simple. Pick 2 or 3 key actions that, if done consistently, will move you toward your vision. Maybe it's writing for 30 minutes every morning before work. Maybe it's calling 2 potential clients a day. Maybe it's reading for 15 minutes before bed to grow your mind. These don't have to be grand gestures. They just need to be repeatable. Small, steady actions done every single day. Build a foundation you can trust. The key is to protect your system fiercely. Treat those daily actions like non-negotiable appointments. If you scheduled a meeting with someone important, you wouldn't cancel at the last minute. So don't cancel on yourself. Respect your own schedule the same way you respect others. Over time, you'll notice something incredible. When you follow a system long enough, the results will start to take care of themselves. You'll wake up one day realizing you've built strength, skills, and discipline without even noticing. That's the magic of a well-designed routine. Remember, results are unpredictable, but effort is certain. When you have a daily system, you don't need to chase results. You simply focus on showing up and doing the work, knowing that each day's effort is stacking up like bricks in a wall. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Build your system today. Trust it. Follow it. And watch how it quietly transforms your life while everyone else is still scrambling for quick fixes. Number 3. Fall in love with boring work. When people imagine success, they picture excitement, passion, and dramatic breakthroughs. They think every day will feel like a movie scene filled with energy and inspiration. But the reality is very different. Real success is built on countless hours of repetitive, ordinary, and yes, boring work. The truth is, the things that lead to greatness rarely feel exciting in the moment. Writing 1 page a day, making 1 extra sales call, practicing the same move again and again, saving a small amount of money week after week. None of these things are thrilling, but over time they add up to something extraordinary. Most people never reach their full potential because they can't handle the boredom of consistent effort. They want instant results, quick wins, and constant variety. The moment the process feels dull, they get distracted and start chasing something new. They hop from one idea to the next, always looking for that magical shortcut. And in the process, they never stick with anything long enough to see real progress. If you want to build something meaningful, you must learn to love the grind. You must train yourself to find satisfaction in doing the small, simple tasks that others are too impatient to do. That's where the edge lies. Champions aren't the ones who always feel motivated. They're the ones who keep showing up, especially when the work feels monotonous. Think about a world-class athlete. While the crowd sees the game-winning shot or the victory celebration, what they don't see are the early mornings, the endless drills, and the repeated failures behind the scenes. Those boring, unglamorous hours are what make the highlight moments possible. Without them, there would be no glory. The same is true for you. Whether you're building a business, improving your health, or learning a skill, the path will be filled with routines that don't feel exciting. At first, you might resist it. You'll feel the urge to skip a day or try something new just to shake things up. But here's the secret. The more you embrace the repetition, the stronger you become. Here's how to start loving the boring work. First, remind yourself why it matters. Each small action is a brick in the foundation of your future. Without those bricks, there is no castle. Second, measure your progress by consistency, not by how fun the task feels. If you showed up today and did what needed to be done, that's a victory. Finally, reframe boredom as a sign of mastery. If the work feels automatic, it means you've built discipline, and discipline is freedom. Falling in love with boring work isn't about settling for mediocrity. It's about understanding that greatness is forged in the quiet, ordinary moments when nobody's watching. While others quit when the excitement fades, you'll keep moving forward, slowly and steadily, until one day the results speak for themselves. So embrace the grind, love the process, and remember, the boring work you do today will create the extraordinary life you've been dreaming of tomorrow. Number 4. Turn discipline into a habit. Discipline is one of the most powerful tools you will ever develop. But here's the challenge. In the beginning, discipline feels heavy. It feels like a fight every single day. You wake up early when you don't want to. You exercise when you're tired. You study when you'd rather be relaxing. At first, it takes a tremendous amount of willpower just to get moving. But here's the secret. Discipline doesn't have to stay difficult forever. When you practice it long enough, it transforms into a habit. Something you do automatically, without needing to push yourself so hard. That's when life changes. Think about the first time you learned to drive a car. It felt overwhelming. You had to consciously think about every little step. Adjusting the mirrors, shifting gears, checking the road. It was stressful, but now after enough repetition, you can drive while holding a conversation or listening to music. It's almost effortless. Discipline works the same way. At first, it feels unnatural to say no to distractions and yes to the right choices. But the more consistently you act with discipline, the more natural it becomes. Over time, it stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like a part of who you are. The key is to start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick one area where you want to grow. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe it's committing to read for 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's choosing water over soda. Whatever it is, keep it simple and repeatable. When you follow through consistently, even with something small, you send a message to yourself. I can trust myself to do what I said I would do. That builds confidence, and confidence fuels greater discipline. Here's something important to remember. Discipline isn't about punishment, it's about freedom. When you have discipline, you're free from being controlled by your impulses and emotions. You don't have to wait for motivation to magically show up. You simply act, regardless of how you feel in the moment. That's real power. There will be days when you don't feel like following through. Those are the most important days of all. Each time you show up despite resistance, you strengthen your mental muscle. It's like lifting weights. Every repetition makes you stronger. Eventually, you'll reach a point where the things that once felt difficult become automatic. Waking up early won't feel like torture. It will just be what you do. Saying no to junk food won't feel like deprivation. It will feel like self-respect. When discipline becomes a habit, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop wasting energy deciding whether or not to take action. You simply live in alignment with your goals. That's when growth accelerates. And that's when others will wonder how you make it look so easy. Start small, stay consistent, and keep going until discipline is no longer something you force yourself to do. It's simply who you are. That's the moment you stop fighting against yourself and start winning every single day. Number 5. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism sounds noble on the surface. You tell yourself, I just want to do things the right way. But deep down, perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being enough. And here's the painful truth. Perfectionism doesn't help you move forward. It keeps you stuck exactly where you are. When you're obsessed with doing everything perfectly, you hesitate to take action. You overthink every step. You wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. And before you know it, nothing has changed. The world doesn't reward ideas kept inside your head. It rewards action. The reality is, there is no perfect time and no perfect plan. There is only now. Waiting until everything is flawless before you begin is like waiting for the wind to stop blowing before you set sail. You'll be waiting forever. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who are willing to act, learn, and adjust along the way. Think about a sculptor working with a block of marble. At first, the shape is rough and uneven. If that sculptor refused to make a single cut until they had a flawless vision in their mind, the block would remain untouched. Progress comes from chipping away, little by little. Even when the early stages look messy, your life works the same way. Perfectionism also robs you of joy. When you're obsessed with everything being flawless, you never feel satisfied. Even when you accomplish something, you immediately notice what's wrong instead of what's right. That constant self-criticism kills confidence and makes the journey feel heavy. Here's the mindset shift you need. Focus on progress, not perfection. If you take one imperfect step today, you are miles ahead of the person who's still standing still, waiting to get it just right. Those small imperfect steps compound over time. They lead to growth, skill, and results. The very things perfectionists spend their whole lives chasing, but never find. Start embracing the messy middle. Your first workout won't be perfect. Your first business idea might flop. Your first speech may be shaky. That's okay. Every master was once a beginner. The only way to reach excellence is to push through the awkward, uncomfortable phases that perfectionists avoid. Here's a practical way to let go of perfectionism. Set a clear action rule for yourself. For example, commit to writing for 30 minutes every day, no matter how bad the writing feels. Or decide you'll make 3 sales calls each morning, even if you stumble over your words. The goal isn't flawless execution, it's consistent effort. Remember this, perfection is an illusion. The people you admire didn't start great. They became great through repeated trial and error. Release the need to be perfect. Take the first step and keep walking. Because the imperfect action you take today will always beat the perfect plan you never start. Number 6. Track actions, not outcomes. One of the biggest reasons people quit too early is because they're focused on the wrong thing. They obsess over the outcome. The number on the scale, the money in the bank, the applause from others. And when those results don't come fast enough, frustration takes over. They think their effort isn't working, so they give up. But here's the truth. You can't control the outcome. You can only control the actions you take every single day. Results are like shadows. They follow you, but you can't chase them directly. If you spend all your time staring at the shadow, you'll lose focus and stumble. But if you focus on moving forward, on doing the work, the shadow will follow naturally. That's why you must stop obsessing over results and start tracking your actions instead. Imagine someone who wants to run a marathon. If they wake up every day only thinking about the finish line, they'll feel overwhelmed. 26 miles will seem impossible. But if they focus on what they can do today, run 2 miles, stretch, eat well, suddenly, the goal becomes manageable. Day by day, their consistent actions build strength. And one morning they wake up ready to cross that finish line. The same principle applies to every area of life. If you want to grow your business, don't fixate on how much revenue you'll make this month. Instead, track the actions that lead to growth. The number of calls you make, the proposals you send, the relationships you build. Those are the things you can control. When you track actions, you give yourself something tangible to measure. It's motivating because you can see the effort you've put in, even if the results haven't arrived yet. It's also honest. You can't hide from the truth of whether or not you showed up. Results can be delayed or influenced by factors outside your control, but effort never lies. Here's a powerful way to implement this. Create a simple checklist or journal. At the end of each day, write down the actions you took. Did you exercise? Did you write those pages? Did you make those calls? Focus on completing the actions, not on whether they paid off immediately. Over time, those consistent actions will stack up like compound interest, and the results will follow in ways you couldn't have predicted. This shift also protects you from discouragement. When you only measure success by outcomes, every setback feels like failure. But when you measure by actions, even a tough day becomes a victory if you showed up and did the work. That builds resilience, and resilience is what keeps you moving when others quit. Stop letting numbers on a screen or other people's opinions control your emotions. Anchor yourself to what you can control. Your actions, your effort, your consistency. Track those relentlessly. Because when you focus on doing the right things each day, the results will take care of themselves. And when they finally arrive, you'll know they came from a foundation you built, brick by brick, action by action. Number 7. Learn to be patient with growth. We live in a world that moves fast. Instant messages, instant food, instant entertainment. Everything is built for speed. And because of this, we've been trained to expect instant results. But growth doesn't work that way. Real, lasting growth takes time. And if you don't learn to be patient, you'll sabotage yourself before you even have a chance to succeed. Think of growth like planting a tree. When you put a seed in the ground, nothing happens at first. Days go by, and all you see is dirt. But underneath the surface, roots are forming, spreading deep and strong. If you get impatient and dig up the seed to check its progress, you'll kill it. The same is true for your dreams. Just because you can't see immediate changes doesn't mean nothing is happening. The most dangerous moment for anyone chasing a goal is the silent season. The time when you're working hard but have no visible proof of success. That's when doubt creeps in. You start asking, why isn't this working? Should I just quit? And most people do quit. They walk away right before the breakthrough would have happened. Patience is not about sitting around doing nothing. It's about staying consistent, even when you can't see the reward yet. It's showing up day after day, trusting that your effort will compound over time. Imagine a sculptor chiseling a block of stone. The first 100 strikes might show no obvious progress, but each strike weakens the rock. Then with one final blow, the stone splits. It wasn't the last strike that made the difference. It was all the ones that came before it. The problem is we compare ourselves to others who are further ahead. We see someone else's highlight reel and think, why am I not there yet? But you're not behind. You're just in your planting season. Their success is visible now because they endured their silent season without giving up. Here's how to build patience. First, remind yourself daily why you started. Your why is the anchor that keeps you steady when progress feels slow. Second, focus on the process, not the timeline. Instead of asking, how long will this take? Ask, what can I do today to move forward? Third, avoid comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's timeline is different, and comparison only breeds frustration. Patience is a form of strength. It takes courage to keep showing up when there's no applause, no recognition, and no instant gratification. But remember this, most of the world gives up too soon. If you can simply outlast that temptation, you'll rise above the crowd. Growth is like nature. You can't rush it, but you can nurture it. Keep watering your dreams with consistent effort. Protect them with faith, and trust that, in time, they will grow into something extraordinary. Be patient. Your moment will come. And when it does, you'll realize that every slow, quiet day was shaping you into the person who could handle the success you were meant for. Number 8. Handle setbacks like a professional. Setbacks are not a sign that you failed. They're a sign that you're in the game. Anyone who's ever built anything meaningful has faced obstacles, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit isn't that the successful ones had it easy. It's that they learned how to handle setbacks like a professional, not like an amateur. An amateur treats a setback like a final defeat. The moment something goes wrong, they take it personally. They say things like, why does this always happen to me? Or maybe I'm just not cut out for this. They let one bad moment erase months of progress. But a professional sees setbacks differently. They know setbacks are part of the process. They treat them as feedback, not failure. Think about a boxer in the ring. Even the best fighters take punches. They don't panic when they get hit. They don't storm out of the ring in frustration. They adjust their strategy, protect themselves, and keep fighting. That's what handling setbacks like a professional looks like. Staying calm, analyzing what happened, and coming back smarter and stronger. The truth is, most people quit right after a setback because they weren't prepared for the discomfort. They thought the journey would be smooth, and when reality hit, it crushed them. But here's the thing. No path worth walking is smooth. The obstacles are there to test you, to sharpen you, and to prepare you for the next level. When a setback comes, pause before reacting. Take a deep breath. Then ask yourself 3 questions. What can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? And how can I keep moving forward today? Those 3 questions shift your mindset from victimhood to ownership. Instead of feeling powerless, you gain control over your next step. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn is that setbacks often hide blessings. That job you didn't get might push you toward the career you were truly meant for. That failed business might teach you the exact skills you need to succeed on the next attempt. But you'll only see those hidden gifts if you keep going. Here's a practical way to prepare for setbacks. Build emotional resilience before you need it. Don't wait for a crisis to practice staying calm. Start with small challenges. When something minor goes wrong, like a traffic jam or a frustrating conversation, practice taking a deep breath and responding with intention, not emotion. Over time, you'll train yourself to stay steady when the big storms hit. Remember, setbacks are temporary. They don't define you unless you let them. The only thing that matters is how you respond. Professionals don't dwell on what went wrong. They extract the lesson, adjust their approach, and get back to work. The next time life knocks you down, don't waste energy complaining or blaming. Stand up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Because every setback you overcome is proof that you're still in the fight and still capable of victory. Number 9. Find strength in small wins. When people think of success, they imagine a giant breakthrough, one massive moment where everything changes. They picture standing on a stage, signing a big contract, or finally reaching that dream number in their bank account. But here's the reality. Those big moments are built on a mountain of small wins. Small wins are the quiet victories that no one claps for. Waking up early when you didn't want to. Finishing a workout when you felt tired. Choosing to save a few dollars instead of spending recklessly. Sitting down to work on your craft for 30 minutes, even when you didn't feel inspired. These moments might seem insignificant, but they are the foundation of lasting success. The problem is, most people overlook them. They think, what's the point of this tiny step? It's not going to change my life. And because they don't see instant results, they stop. They give up before those small wins have a chance to compound. But here's the truth. Small wins are powerful because they build momentum. And momentum is what turns ordinary effort into unstoppable progress. Think about pushing a heavy boulder. At first, it doesn't move. You push and it feels like nothing is happening. But if you keep applying consistent force, suddenly the boulder begins to roll. And once it's rolling, it takes less effort to keep it moving. That's what small wins do for you. They create forward motion. Celebrating small wins also fuels your confidence. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you prove to yourself that you are capable. It might seem like a tiny thing, crossing a task off your list, or sticking to your routine for one more day. But each of those victories strengthens your belief in yourself. And belief is what drives action. Here's the key. Don't just recognize small wins privately. Actually celebrate them. This doesn't mean throwing a party every time you do the right thing. It means pausing to appreciate your effort, even in the absence of visible results. Maybe you take a moment to smile, to write it down in a journal, or to simply say, I did it. I showed up today. That small acknowledgement reinforces the behavior and makes you more likely to repeat it. On tough days when progress feels painfully slow, small wins are what keep you going. They remind you that even though you're not at the finish line yet, you're still moving forward, and moving forward, even by an inch, is infinitely better than standing still. Here's the truth. Those big, flashy achievements you dream about, they're nothing more than a collection of tiny victories stacked on top of each other. You don't need to focus on building the whole mountain at once. Just focus on placing the next stone. So shift your perspective. Stop waiting for the big moment to feel proud. Start finding strength in the small wins you create every single day. Because when you stack enough small victories, the big one will come. And when it does, you'll realize it was never just one moment. It was the hundreds of quiet, unseen moments that built you into the person who could achieve it. Number 10. Replace motivation with responsibility. Motivation is powerful, but it's also unreliable. Some mornings you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to take on the world. Other days, you can't even drag yourself out of bed. If you rely on motivation alone, your progress will rise and fall like the tide. That's why you need something stronger, something steadier. Responsibility. Motivation is based on feelings, and feelings change constantly. Responsibility is based on commitment, and commitment stays solid no matter how you feel. When you make something your responsibility, you don't wait to feel like it. You show up because it's what needs to be done. Think about a parent caring for a newborn. They don't wake up in the middle of the night because they're motivated. They wake up because it's their responsibility. It's not optional. They act, even when they're tired, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody's watching. That's the mindset you need to bring to your goals. When you treat your dream like a hobby, you'll only work on it when it's fun. But when you treat it like your duty, you'll push through the boredom, the setbacks, and the bad days. Responsibility creates consistency, and consistency creates results. Here's a hard truth. No one is coming to save you. No coach, no friend, no mentor can do the work for you. You are responsible for your effort, your growth, and your future. The sooner you accept that, the stronger you become. One way to build responsibility is to create systems of accountability. Tell someone you trust about your commitment. Set deadlines and hold yourself to them. Even better, make your actions visible. For example, if you commit to running every morning, track your progress on a calendar where you can see it. The more visible your responsibility becomes, the harder it is to hide from it. Another powerful strategy is to connect your responsibility to something bigger than yourself. Maybe it's providing for your family, inspiring others, or proving to yourself that you can be more than your past. When you tie your effort to a deeper purpose, you'll keep going even when motivation fades. It's also important to understand that responsibility isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up. Even when things aren't going smoothly. There will be days when you stumble. That doesn't mean you failed. What matters is that you take ownership and get back on track. Responsibility doesn't allow excuses to linger. When you replace motivation with responsibility, you stop living at the mercy of your moods. You no longer depend on perfect circumstances or bursts of inspiration. Instead, you build your life on steady, reliable action. Motivation might get you started, but responsibility will carry you through the storms. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop searching for external sparks to light your fire. Step up, claim ownership of your journey, and commit fully. Because when you make success your responsibility, there's no room left for excuses, only progress. Number 11. Focus on who you're becoming. It's easy to get caught up in chasing achievements. You want the promotion, the perfect body, the bigger bank account, the applause. And while there's nothing wrong with having goals, there's a deeper truth you need to understand. Success isn't just about what you get. It's about who you become along the way. Every challenge you face, every sacrifice you make, every late night and early morning, they're all shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. The results you're chasing will come and go. Money can be spent. Awards can collect dust. But the person you become in the process will stay with you for life. Think about this. If you somehow achieved all your dreams overnight but didn't grow as a person, you wouldn't be able to handle the success. That's why so many people who win big too quickly lose it just as fast. They skip the process of becoming the kind of person who could sustain that level of success. When you focus only on results, you measure yourself by external things you can't always control. But when you focus on growth, you reclaim your power. Even on tough days, you can take pride in knowing you're building character, discipline, and resilience. That inner growth is priceless. Here's how to shift your focus. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Do you want to be someone who keeps promises to yourself? Someone who perseveres when things get hard? Someone who inspires others through your actions? When you have a clear vision of the person you want to be, your actions gain a deeper purpose. For example, let's say your goal is to run a marathon. The medal at the finish line is nice, but the real reward is becoming someone who trains consistently, pushes through discomfort, and refuses to quit. Whether you win or lose on race day doesn't matter as much as the transformation you've experienced inside. This shift in focus also helps you stay grounded during setbacks. When results are delayed, you won't spiral into frustration because you'll recognize that growth is still happening beneath the surface. Every failure, every obstacle is shaping you into someone more powerful. Here's a practical way to live this principle. Each night, reflect on how you showed up during the day. Did you act in alignment with the person you want to become? Did you choose courage over fear, effort over excuses, discipline over comfort? These questions keep your focus on growth, not just outcomes. At the end of your life, the trophies and titles won't matter nearly as much as the person you became through the journey. So start today. Shift your focus from chasing external validation to building internal strength. Because the most important victory you'll ever win isn't the goal you achieve, it's the transformation of becoming the best version of yourself, one choice at a time. Number 12. Master the art of showing up daily. If there's one skill that separates those who dream from those who achieve, it's the ability to show up every single day, no matter what. Not just when it's convenient, not just when you feel inspired, but even on the days when you're tired, busy, or completely unmotivated. Success isn't about extraordinary bursts of effort. It's about steady, consistent action stacked over time. Think about a farmer. They don't plant seeds one day and expect to harvest the next. They show up daily, watering, weeding, protecting their crops, even when there's no visible sign of growth. If they skipped a week because they didn't feel like it, the harvest would never come. Your goals work the same way. You must tend to them consistently, even when the results are invisible. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for the right mood to take action. They say, I'll start when I feel ready, or I'll work hard when I'm motivated. But here's the truth. Feelings are unreliable. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll waste your entire life waiting. Professionals don't depend on moods. They create routines that force them to show up regardless of how they feel. Showing up daily doesn't mean giving 100% every single day. Some days you'll be on fire, crushing everything in front of you. Other days you might only have 40% to give. That's okay. Give that 40%. What matters is that you maintain the habit of showing up. Even a small effort keeps your momentum alive and prevents you from slipping backward. One of the best ways to master consistency is to make your actions simple and repeatable. Don't try to build a perfect plan or an intense schedule you can't maintain. Start with manageable steps you can execute even on your worst days. For example, if your goal is to write a book, commit to writing 1 page a day. It might not sound like much, but 1 page a day equals an entire book in a year. Another key is to remove the barriers that make showing up harder than it needs to be. Prepare your environment for success. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Keep your workspace clean and ready. Schedule your important tasks like appointments that cannot be canceled. The easier you make it to start, the more likely you are to follow through. And here's the real secret. Showing up daily isn't just about building discipline. It builds identity. Every time you follow through, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. You start to see yourself differently, not as someone who tries, but as someone who does. In the end, the people who achieve extraordinary results aren't the most talented or the most gifted. They're the ones who simply kept showing up, day after day, while others gave up. So commit to the process. Be the person who shows up no matter what. Because when you master the art of showing up daily, there's no limit to what you can build, who you can become, and how far you can go. When you stop obsessing over results and start pouring your energy into consistent effort, something powerful happens. You reclaim control over your life. Results are unpredictable. They depend on timing, circumstances, and countless factors you can't influence. But effort is yours. It's the one thing that belongs entirely to you. Throughout this journey, we've explored the principles that help you shift your focus from building a system you can trust, to embracing the boring work, to celebrating small wins and mastering the art of showing up daily. Each chapter has been about one thing: freeing yourself from the anxiety of chasing outcomes, and instead finding strength in what you can control right now. The truth is, results are nothing more than a reflection of your consistent actions over time. They are like a shadow that follows you wherever you go. If you spend your life chasing the shadow, you'll always feel like you're falling behind. But if you keep your head down and focus on taking the right steps each day, the shadow will grow on its own. When you live this way, setbacks no longer define you. Slow progress no longer discourages you. You become steady, grounded, and unshakable. Because your worth isn't tied to external validation. You stop asking, "When will I get there?" and start saying, "I'm proud of who I am becoming, one step at a time." So as you move forward from here, remember this: don't waste your life waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect outcome. Start today. Show up today. Give your best today. Because the effort you put in now is quietly building the future you've been dreaming of. Your journey is not about what you achieve, it's about who you become along the way. Focus on the effort, and the results will take care of themselves. And when they finally arrive, you'll be ready, not just to enjoy them, but to sustain them. The power is in your hands. Make the choice to take responsibility for your daily actions, to keep going when others quit, and to trust the process, even when no one is watching. Stay consistent, stay patient, and above all, stay focused on what you can control, your effort. The rest will follow, in time, exactly when it's meant to.